just, I mean, God, I put him in rehab so many times, and every time he'd be doing great, and then it would just fall back. I mean, you've heard the same story from a million people.
Just 2 minutes ago, heartbreaking news about Rick Harrison sent shockwaves through fans everywhere. The man who always appeared strong and unshakable is now facing one of the most painful moments of his life. Behind the cameras and the confident smile, Rick has been battling storms no one saw coming. This latest tragedy reveals a side of him the world was never prepared to witness. The devastating blow that broke the silence. Rick Harrison has spent most of his life in front of cameras, dealing with rare artifacts, bargaining with strangers, and keeping his family business running. But when his mother, Joanne Harrison, passed away on the 5th of November 2025 at the age of 85 in a Las Vegas hospital, the loss hit him in a way that no public moment ever had. People close to him said he was devastated, but Rick himself did not want to talk about it. He withdrew quietly, keeping his feelings inside. Fans noticed he looked weighed down, but he offered no explanations. Rick has lost many loved ones over the years, including his father, Richard Harrison, known as the Old Man, whose death in 2018 deeply affected him. People know these tragedies. They've watched Rick carry on with his work on Pawn Stars and at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. But what they do not know, and what Rick refuses to share, is what's really going on inside his life now. The pain, the guilt, the regrets, all of it stays behind a wall he never lets the public see. One reason this loss may feel so heavy is the complicated relationship Rick had with his mother in recent years. Their bond had strained, especially after the legal battle that shook the Harrison family in 2022. That was the year Joanne filed a civil lawsuit against Rick, the pawn shop, and several related business entities. The suit exposed tensions that had been quietly building for decades. For a family so often on television, these wounds had remained surprisingly hidden until they suddenly weren't. Joanne's lawsuit was emotional, messy, and deeply personal. Joanne alleged that Rick had breached an agreement regarding the ownership and management of the shop. She claimed that she was pressured to sign documents in the early 2000s, relinquishing her 51% ownership while she was recovering from a coma. This claim suggested that during a vulnerable period, Joanne had made decisions under external influence, which became a central point of contention in the lawsuit. She sought to recover a 49% share of the shop that she inherited from her late husband, asserting her rights to the business that had been passed down to her. Rick Harrison publicly responded to the accusations, calling them not true. He suggested that his 81-year-old mother might have been influenced by others when making her claims, framing the situation as one complicated by outside perspectives rather than deliberate wrongdoing on his part. The dispute highlighted the complexities of managing a family-run business, particularly when multiple generations have interests tied up in ownership, legacy, and control. The lawsuit drew intense public attention. Pawn Stars is a global show. The shop is a Las Vegas landmark, and Rick is a familiar face to millions. But behind the public fascination was a family trying to manage heartbreak, business pressure, pride, and years of unresolved emotions. Even after the filing, Rick stayed focused on his work. He kept filming, running the shop, and handling his responsibilities. He did what he always does, pushed forward. But now that his mother is gone, the silence around his grief feels heavier. Perhaps it is guilt, perhaps regret, perhaps memories he can't fix anymore. What is clear is this: losing his mother, even after years of conflict, has left a deep mark. And Rick Harrison, a man used to telling stories about other people's treasures, is choosing not to share this one. Rick Harrison always looked strong and cheerful on camera, but you'd be shocked to know how much pain he has carried inside. Let's take a look at the tragedies he has endured over the years. Traumatic childhood of Rick Harrison. Rick Harrison, whose full name is Richard Kevin Harrison, was born on March 22, 1965, as the third of 4 children to Richard, the Old Man, Benjamin Harrison, and Joanne Harrison. The family spent Rick's early years in Lexington, North Carolina, where he grew up alongside his siblings Sherry, Joseph, and Chris. Rick's father served in the U.S. Navy, and his long periods away from home became a defining aspect of Rick's early life. His father's military career provided financial stability, which was particularly important given the family's challenges. A central figure in Rick's childhood was his sister Sherry, who was born with Down syndrome. Her medical needs were significant, and their father's decision to remain in the Navy was closely tied to ensuring she received proper care. Sadly, Sherry passed away at just 6 years old, a loss that cast a quiet shadow over the Harrison household. Although Rick was too young to remember her directly, the impact of her death was felt deeply in the family. Their father later described Sherry as the light of my life, a sentiment that underscored how much her presence and then her absence shaped the household environment. When Rick was 2, the family relocated to San Diego, California, following another military assignment. The move introduced Rick to a new environment, but the lingering effects of Sherry's loss and the stress of his father's long absences continued to influence his upbringing. Despite these challenges, Rick's curiosity and resilience began to shine through. At the age of 8, Rick was diagnosed with epileptic seizures, a condition that confined him to bed for long periods. This limitation, while physically restrictive, opened the door to a new world. Spending so much time in isolation, Rick developed a deep love for reading. Immersing himself in adventure stories and exploring topics like physics, history, and the Royal Navy of the late 1700s and early 1800s. These early interests would later influence the knowledge and expertise he displayed at the gold and silver pawn shop, particularly in evaluating historical artifacts and collectibles. As Rick grew, he attended Taft Middle School in San Diego, where his curiosity and sharp mind became increasingly apparent. However, the lure of entrepreneurship eventually outweighed the pull of formal schooling. As a teenager, Rick dropped out of high school and began selling fake Gucci bags, a venture that reportedly earned him as much as $2,000 a week. These early experiences in business, combined with his formative challenges, set the stage for Rick's later success, blending resilience, knowledge, and a knack for spotting opportunity. Rick's childhood was marked by hardship, early ambition, and a growing sense of independence. These formative experiences shaped his character, laying the foundation for the man who would one day become the centerpiece of Pawn Stars. But just as Rick's drive intensified, a major move and a series of life-changing moments pushed his story into an entirely new direction. Struggles at Las Vegas. In April 1981, the Harrison family made a significant move from San Diego to Las Vegas, Nevada, following the collapse of their real estate business. At just 17 years old, Rick Harrison entered a new chapter of his life, stepping into the family's entrepreneurial journey as his father, Richard the Old Man Harrison, opened a small 300-square-foot shop on Las Vegas Boulevard South. The store primarily dealt in second-hand gold and silver coins, establishing the foundation of a business that would ultimately define Rick's career. This period was marked not only by relocation, but also by deep personal experiences for Rick. While navigating his new life in Las Vegas, Rick and his girlfriend Kim faced heartbreak when her pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. The loss was profoundly difficult, but it brought them closer, eventually leading to marriage. Their family quickly expanded with the birth of their first son, Corey, in 1983, followed by their second son, Adam, These milestones were joyful, yet Rick and Kim's relationship eventually ended, leaving Rick to navigate the challenges of single parenthood and personal uncertainty. Rick's personal life took another turn when he met Tracy on a blind double date. Their connection grew quickly, and after 6 months of dating, they moved in together. Only 8 months later, they were married, taking on the responsibility of raising Corey and Adam as a unified family. During this time, Rick's dedication to the business intensified. By the age of 23, his growing knowledge of history, physics, and the unique stories behind each item in the shop allowed him to contribute significantly, eventually earning a partnership in the family business. To support the family and supplement his income, Rick also worked repo jobs at night, reclaiming cars until the shop became financially stable enough for him to focus solely on the store. As the business reputation grew, the Harrisons relocated the shop to a larger space on Fremont Street. But after losing their lease 2 years later, they faced another pivotal decision. They decided to transition into a pawn shop, which they saw as a natural evolution of the business. However, legal obstacles arose due to an old 1955 Las Vegas law, which restricted pawn licenses based on city population. Rick and the old man closely monitored the city's population statistics, keeping in touch with city statistician weekly. By 1989, the population reached the required 250,000, finally clearing the legal hurdle. That same year, they successfully opened the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop at 713 Las Vegas Boulevard South, a defining moment that set the stage for everything that would follow, establishing the business and Rick's long-lasting career in the pawn industry. As the shop gained recognition, unexpected attention arrived from outside Las Vegas, setting the stage for a major turning point ahead. Seas of Pawn Stars. By the mid-2000s, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop had earned a solid reputation in Las Vegas, drawing a steady flow of customers and accumulating an ever-growing inventory of unusual pieces. The shop's unique blend of rare collectibles, historical artifacts, and eclectic items made it stand out among other local pawn stores. This distinct character eventually attracted the attention of Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines of Left Field Pictures, who visited Las Vegas in 2008. What impressed them most was the city's pawn shops themselves, places filled with objects that carried stories, a mix of history and personality. They were specifically searching for a family-owned business with charm and character, and they found that in Rick Harrison's shop. At the time, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, co-owned and managed by Rick, housed more than 10,000 items, ranging from rare coins and collectibles to historical pieces with intriguing backstories. The store had even appeared in a PBS documentary in 2001, offering a brief introduction to television audiences. However, what the producers didn't realize was that Rick had long harbored a dream of having a TV show about his store, knowing that the fascinating items and unpredictable negotiations could make compelling viewing. Montgomery and Gaines initially pitched the concept to HBO, but the network ultimately rejected the proposal. HBO did, however, allow the team to revise the format. The adjustments focused on making the show more family-friendly, broadening its appeal to a wider audience. Originally, the series was titled Pawning History, but the name was later changed to Pawn Stars, a catchy and memorable title that immediately drew attention. For filming, the shop would close to the public during certain hours, allowing only pre-approved customers to enter. This ensured that production could run smoothly while maintaining authentic negotiations and preserving the real-life dynamics of the business. As the series took shape, the interactions between Rick, Corey, Chumley, and the old man quickly emerged as a highlight. Their mix of expertise, humor, and candid conversations created a natural fit for television, making the show both educational and entertaining. Once Pawn Stars premiered on the History Channel, it rapidly grew in popularity. Viewers connected with the Harrison family and the everyday discoveries that unfolded in the shop. The combination of history, humor, and genuine personalities helped the show gain momentum season after season, eventually becoming the top-rated show on the network. As the series climbed in popularity, new achievements and personal trials emerged, pushing Rick and the shop into an entirely different chapter. By January 2011, the momentum behind Pawn Stars was undeniable. The show had become the second highest-rated reality show on television, ranking just behind Jersey Shore. This success opened new doors for Rick and his team, placing them squarely in the public eye and providing opportunities to branch out beyond the shop. The growing popularity of the show allowed the Harrisons to become recognizable figures not just in Las Vegas, but nationwide. On June 7, 2011, Rick released his book, Licensed to Pawn, Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver, offering readers a deeper look into his upbringing, family, and his journey in the pawn business. The book resonated strongly with audiences and climbed the New York Times bestseller list, reaching number 22 by June 26. This achievement marked a milestone Rick took great pride in, reflecting the broader impact of the show's unexpected success. As Pawn Stars continued to gain popularity, Rick, Corey, and Chumley were invited to appear on other television shows. They made a guest appearance as themselves on iCarly in the episode titled I Lost My Head in Vegas. Shortly afterward, Rick appeared on The Middle, portraying an antique store owner, a role that directly connected to his real-life expertise. These appearances further reinforced the team's growing media presence and solidified their status as recognizable television figures. However, 2011 also brought one of Rick's most challenging personal experiences. That year, he and his second wife, Tracy, divorced after years of marriage. Though the separation was difficult, Rick remained focused on his shop, the show, and his family. Shortly afterward, he became engaged to Deanna Burdett, whom he married the following year. Beyond the entertainment world, Rick's presence expanded as he participated in advertisements and other History Channel productions, further building his profile. Yet, the greatest shift in the show's story came with a deeply heartbreaking event: the death of Richard "the Old Man" Harrison in June 2018 due to Parkinson's disease. Rick described losing his father as one of the hardest moments of his life. This loss marked a profound turning point for the family and the show, ushering in a new, more challenging chapter in the Harrison story. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2019, Rick Harrison faced one of the toughest chapters of his business life. Many assumed pawn shops would thrive during hard times, but the opposite happened. After a short burst of activity, business slowed sharply as people stayed home and uncertainty grew across Las Vegas. In March 2020, things reached their breaking point. Rick had to close the tourist side of the gold and silver pawn shop for 30 days. Although the financial services section stayed open, losing tourist traffic, the shop's lifeline, caused a major drop in revenue. Las Vegas was empty, and so was the shop. In an April 2020 interview, Rick explained that he and his team focused on helping the community rather than protecting profits. They lowered interest rates, extended deadlines, and gave customers more time to reclaim their items. Rick, who has lived in Las Vegas for decades, understood the fear and instability people were feeling and tried to ease the burden in any way he could. But even with his efforts, recovery was slow. A 2020 Daily Mail report noted that the shop, which usually made over $1 million a year, earned only $337,046, a staggering drop that revealed just how hard the pandemic hit both Rick and the entire pawn industry. But even as Rick processed this all, another painful ordeal surfaced, this time emerging from within Rick's own family and long-standing history: heartbreaking divorce. Besides navigating the challenges of running a successful business and managing a high-profile television career, Rick Harrison also faced personal upheavals in his private life. One significant chapter involved his marriage to Deanna Burdett, which ended in divorce in September 2020. According to court papers obtained by TMZ, the separation stemmed from growing differences in the couple's personal lives. Rick and Deanna had grown apart, and the documents emphasized that their tastes, opinions, and preferences were too different to work as a company, highlighting the practical realities that contributed to the split. The timing of the divorce also drew attention, as it occurred amid the national events surrounding the George Floyd protests. TMZ noted that because of the broader societal focus, the divorce may have gone largely unnoticed by the public at the time. Despite the high-profile nature of the separation, Rick emphasized that the end of the marriage was mutual, and he expressed a sense of acceptance and moving forward. Reflecting on the positives, Rick highlighted the family connections that endured, particularly noting that he gained 3 wonderful daughters from Deanna's previous marriage. He shared openly that these relationships remain meaningful in his life, emphasizing that family bonds extend beyond biological ties. Rick's continued connection with his stepdaughters has been evident on social media, where he frequently shares glimpses of their ongoing relationship. For instance, on August 7th, he posted about a Father-Daughter Day off-roading, showcasing the special bond he maintains with them. These posts underscore that, even after the marriage ended, Rick remained actively involved in their lives and fostered a supportive and affectionate relationship. His approach demonstrates a commitment to family continuity, showing that love and care for children can persist beyond the romantic relationship. Beyond the specific outings and social media highlights, Rick often speaks about the importance of maintaining close family connections despite personal changes. He has noted that his bond with his stepdaughters is a source of joy and positivity, providing balance during periods of personal and professional stress. The ability to nurture these relationships reflects his focus on continuity and resilience, ensuring that his family remains central to his life, regardless of the challenges of divorce. Ultimately, Rick Harrison's experience with his 3rd marriage illustrates how he has handled complex personal transitions with thoughtfulness and care. While the divorce marked the end of a chapter, the ongoing relationship with his stepdaughters stands as a bright and meaningful aspect of his life, showing that even amid change, family connections endure. Then comes the most devastating loss of his life, which he never thought he would face in his life. Adam's death in 2024. Rick Harrison's son, Adam Harrison, passed away at just 39 years old. The news profoundly affected Rick, his family, and countless fans who had followed the Harrisons for years through Pawn Stars and their public appearances. According to the Clark County Medical Examiner's Office, Adam's death was ruled accidental, resulting from an overdose involving fentanyl and methamphetamine. This tragedy highlighted the harsh and widespread impact of the ongoing fentanyl crisis, a dangerous epidemic that has claimed the lives of countless families across the United States. Concerns had arisen when Adam had not been seen since January 17th. On January 19th, his landlord found him unresponsive and immediately contacted law enforcement. The confirmation of his death quickly followed, sending shockwaves through the Harrison family. Adam had lived a largely private life, making the sudden loss even more difficult for those closest to him and intensifying the sense of grief among family and friends. Rick publicly acknowledged the tragedy through a heartfelt Instagram post, sharing a photo of himself and Adam together at a restaurant. He wrote, "You'll always be in my heart. I love you, Adam," accompanied by a broken heart emoji. A family spokesperson, Laura Hervidge, later confirmed that the cause of death was a fentanyl overdose, stating, "We are deeply saddened by Adam's passing. Please respect our privacy as we mourn this loss." Following the announcement, thousands expressed their condolences. Donald Trump Jr. wrote, "I'm so sorry, man," while Adam's older brother Corey posted a childhood photo of the two of them, writing, "I'll always love you, Bubba." These messages reflected not only grief, but also the deep bond shared within the Harrison family, highlighting how much Adam meant to those around him. Although Adam never appeared on Pawn Stars, the transcript notes that he had previously worked at the gold and silver pawn shop before choosing a different path and becoming a plumber. Corey explained that Adam simply wasn't interested in being on the show, preferring a life outside the public eye. Even so, his absence and eventual passing left a profound emptiness within the family, reminding them of the fragility of life. In response to the tragedy, Rick released an additional statement urging the country to take the fentanyl epidemic seriously, emphasizing that too many families were losing loved ones to this dangerous substance. For Rick, the loss was not only personal but also a call for awareness, hoping no other parent would have to endure the pain he now faced. The grief from losing Adam was overwhelming, marking the most painful moment in Rick's life. Yet even in heartbreak, he continued to stay grounded, leaning on family, work, and the support of those around him as he began navigating a future forever altered by the absence of his beloved son. But even amid unimaginable loss, Rick's public presence continued evolving, especially as his long-standing interests began shifting toward a new arena: entry into politics. As the years progressed, Rick Harrison became more publicly outspoken about issues he cared about, gradually stepping into the world of politics. While he had always been known for his expertise in history, negotiation, and the pawn business, his growing visibility through Pawn Stars gave him a platform that extended far beyond the walls of the gold and silver pawn shop. With that increased reach came a willingness to express his political views openly. In 2020, Rick made his political stance clear when he publicly supported Donald Trump for president. His endorsement aligned with comments he shared in interviews and on social platforms, where he expressed his perspectives on business, the economy, and national policy. That same year, he also endorsed Daniel Rodimer for Nevada's 3rd Congressional District, showing his growing interest in political involvement at both national and state levels. Rick's connection to politics didn't stop at offering support to candidates. He began considering the possibility of entering the political arena himself. At one point, he said he had thought about running for governor of Nevada in 2022, a statement that drew significant public attention. While he never officially launched a campaign, his acknowledgement that he had seriously weighed the option indicated just how far his political interests had developed. By 2024, those ambitions expanded even further. Rick revealed that he might consider running for the U.S. Senate, sharing that, "A lot of people in the party have talked to me about it and I'm considering it." He emphasized that he had not made a final decision, noting that he was still keeping my options open. The phrase reflected both his openness to the idea and his awareness of the responsibilities such a role would require. His political presence also surfaced in other ways. In November 2023, Rick received the title of Kentucky Colonel, the highest honor awarded by the governor of Kentucky, during an episode of Pawn Stars Do America, partly filmed at Locust Grove. While this honor was not connected to a campaign or political office, it demonstrated the level of recognition he had earned, both within television and in broader public circles. These developments marked a new dimension of Rick's public identity. No longer defined solely as a businessman or TV figure, he had stepped into conversations about leadership, policy, and public service. Whether or not he ultimately chose to pursue elected office, his willingness to voice strong positions ensured his influence extended beyond television screens. Yet while Rick's political presence grew, his personal life was entering a new chapter, one shaped not by campaigns or public appearances, but by an unexpected relationship that would bring renewed joy after so much hardship. And as Rick's public voice grew louder, a far more private story unfolded, one centered on companionship, healing, and the search for balance again. Finding hope again. Rick Harrison has entered a new chapter in his personal life, currently dating Angie Pushkin, a nurse from Las Vegas. Their relationship has become a meaningful source of joy and companionship for Rick, as he navigates semi-retirement and the ongoing responsibilities of managing the gold and silver pawn shop. Angie, who works in healthcare, has provided steady support and companionship, and their bond continues to strengthen with shared experiences that reflect a deeper connection beyond the public eye. The couple has enjoyed traveling together, often documenting their adventures on social media. Notably, Rick shared snapshots from a trip to Europe, where they celebrated a special occasion, Angie's birthday, with a night out in Paris. These glimpses reveal a more personal side of Rick that fans of Pawn Stars may not have seen on television. A relaxed, intimate, and romantic side that contrasts with the fast-paced and high-energy environment of the pawn shop. Their travels and shared experiences emphasize the couple's growing connection and highlight a period of personal fulfillment for Rick. Despite the positive aspects of their relationship, Rick has faced some criticism and mixed reactions on social media. Instead of letting these opinions affect him, he has chosen to focus on the positive aspects of his relationship with Angie, emphasizing in interviews and posts that he values enjoying life with her. He prioritizes quality time, shared experiences, and emotional connection, rather than allowing outside negativity to interfere with their bond. Alongside this relationship, Rick has been finding a balance between his professional and personal life. Embracing semi-retirement, he has appeared in projects such as the spin-off Pawn Stars Do America, which allows him to remain connected to the entertainment side of the pawn business without being immersed in the exhaustive daily responsibilities of the main shop. This shift provides him with more time to nurture his relationship with Angie while also maintaining meaningful family connections, reflecting a deliberate effort to prioritize personal happiness alongside professional commitments. Rick's approach to this stage of life demonstrates the growth and perspective gained from decades of running a family business, enduring personal losses, and managing public attention. While fans may continue to observe his journey with Angie through social media and television appearances, his focus remains clear: enjoying life, creating memorable experiences, and balancing work, love, and family. Rick Harrison's life shows resilience, love, and adaptation amidst public scrutiny and personal trials. Can anyone truly balance fame, fortune, and family without facing unexpected heartache along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments below.